a moment. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Is the professor home?
Oh, are you here for the lesson?
Yeah.
Oh, he's expecting you. Come in. Head downstairs to the classroom and I'll tell him you're here. Professor, come down. Your pupil is here.
Thank you. I'm coming in just a moment. Good morning, young lady. I expected that you were the new pupil.
Yes, Professor. Good morning, Professor. I'm on time. I didn't want to be late.
That's fine, miss. You didn't really need to hurry. I apologize for having kept you waiting. I was just finishing up. Well, yes.
Don't worry about it, Professor. It's not a problem at all, Professor.
Please excuse me. Did you have any trouble finding the place?
No, I just asked around. A lot of people know you around here.
For 30 years, I've lived in this town. You've not been here for long. How did you find it?
It's all right. The town is really pretty. I mean, there's a grocery store, and then there's a church, and then there's that boarding school that's really nice, and then there's a really cool park, and then...
That's very true, young lady, and yet I'd rather live in Paris, or at least Bordeaux.
You like Bordeaux?
I've not been.
So you know Paris?
No, I've not seen that either. If you'll permit me, can you tell me, miss, Paris is the capital city of?
Paris is the capital city of... France.
Yes, very good, young lady. Congratulations. You have your French geography at your fingertips. You know your chief cities.
Yeah, I mean, I'm learning. It's coming along. Taking a while, but, you know.
Well, do not worry. In time, you will see it's much easier to learn. Don't fret. It will come in time. You mustn't give up. You will learn. You will see it will come. What a nice day it is today. Or rather, not so nice. But then again, I suppose, yes, it is a nice day. It's not raining. The sky is fairly clear. And it's not snowing either.
That would be really strange since it's the summer.
Excuse me, young lady. I was just going to say so. But as you will learn, one must be ready for anything.
I guess so, Professor.
We can't be sure of anything these days, young lady.
Well, the snow falls in the winter, and winter's one of the 4 seasons. Oh, and the other 3 are
Yes?
spring, and then summer, and then
It begins like automobile, miss.
autumn.
Yes, that's a good answer. I am convinced you will be a good pupil and you will make real progress. You're intelligent, you seem to be well informed, and you have a good memory.
I know my seasons, don't I, Professor?
Yes, indeed. Or almost. But don't worry, it will come in time. Soon you will know them all, even with your eyes closed, just as I do.
It's kind of hard.
Oh, not at all. All it requires is a little effort, a little goodwill, young lady. It will come in time, you'll see.
I hope so. I love to learn, and my parents also really want me to get a good education.
Your parents, young lady, are perfectly right. Forgive me for saying so, but it's necessary. Our contemporary life has become most complex.
And very complicated, too. My parents are quite rich, so I'm lucky. They help me a lot with my work and my studies.
Then, if you'll permit me, young lady, forgive me, but I think we ought to get to work. We scarcely have any time to lose.
Certainly, Professor. I want to.
Then, may I ask you to sit down there? If you'll permit me, pardon me, to sit opposite you?
Of course, Professor. Please do.
There we are now. Have Young lady, have you brought your books and notebooks?
Oh yes, I have everything I need.
Perfect, miss. This is perfect. Now, if it doesn't bore you, shall we begin?
Yes, Professor, I'm at your disposal.
At my disposal? No, miss. It is I who am at your disposal. I am but your humble servant.
Oh, Professor.
If we can begin now, I will begin by making an examination of your knowledge, past and present. Good. Now, how is your understanding of plurality?
It's pretty vague. I get confused easily.
Good. We shall see. Now, miss, would you like to do a little arithmetic? If you want to.
Oh, yes, Professor, I love to.
It's rather a new science. Actually, it's more a method than science. And it's very therapeutic. Have you finished, Marie?
I'm done. I found my book. I'm going.
Hurry up then. Please go on to the kitchen, if you will.
All right, Professor. I'm going. I forgot my book. My bad. You're good. Everything's good.
You're being ridiculous, Marie. Now, don't worry.
Well, that's what you always say.
I will not stand for your insinuations. I know how to comport myself at my age.
Okay. You probably shouldn't start on arithmetic. Arithmetic is tiring.
Not at my age. But anyhow, what concern is this of yours?
All right. Okay, I understand, Professor. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I can get along without your advice, Marie.
As you wish.
I hope you'll pardon this absurd interruption. Please excuse this woman. She's always worried I'll tire myself out. She fusses over my health.
It's all right, Professor. She seems very devoted. She loves you very much.
She exaggerates. Her fears are stupid. But let us return to our arithmetical knitting.
I'm following you.
Without leaving your seat.
Good one, Professor.
Good. Now let us arithmetize.
Yes, great, Professor.
It wouldn't be too tiresome for you to tell me.
Go on, Professor.
How much are 1 and 1?
1 and 1 are 2.
That's very good. I can see you are well along in your studies. You should make great progress quite quickly.
Thanks, Professor. That's so great to hear, coming from you especially.
Let's push on. How much are 2 and 1?
3.
3 and 1.
4.
4 and 1.
5.
5 and 1.
6.
6 and 1.
7.
7 and 1.
8.
7 and 1.
8 again.
Very well answered. 7 and 1.
8 once again.
Perfect. Excellent. 7 and 1.
8 again, and sometimes 9.
Magnificent! You are magnificent! You are exquisite. I congratulate you warmly, miss. There's scarcely any point in going on. At addition, you are a past master. Now, let us take a look at subtraction. Tell me, if you're not exhausted, how much is 4 minus 3?
4 minus 3, I don't really...
Yes. I mean to say, subtract 3 from 4.
7?
Oh, certainly not, miss. It's not a matter of guessing. You have to think it out. Let's deduce it together. Would you like to count?
Yes, Professor, sure. 1, 2, 3.
You know how to count? How far can you count up to?
I can count to infinity.
That's not possible, miss.
Oh, well, then 16.
Okay, good. It's good to know one's limits. Count then, if you will, please.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, and after 3 comes 4.
Stop there, miss. Can you tell me which is larger, 3 or 4?
3 or 4, which is larger? The larger of 3 or 4? Well, in what way larger?
Some numbers are smaller and others are larger. In the larger numbers, there are more units than in the small.
Then in the small numbers?
Unless the small ones have smaller units. If they are very small, then there might be more units in the small numbers than in the large, if it is a question of other units.
So the smaller numbers can be larger than the large numbers?
Let's not get into that. That would take us much too far. There are more than just numbers involved here. We have magnitudes, totals. We have sums. There are groups. There are heaps of such things as plums, trucks, geese, prune pits, etc. To facilitate our work, let us simply assume that we only have equal numbers, the larger of which always have more units.
Okay, so the larger always has the most. I think I understand what you're saying, Professor. You're saying you're comparing quality with quantity, right?
That is too theoretical, miss. Too theoretical. Don't concern yourself with that. Let us take an example and reason from a definite case. We have the number 4 and the number 3. Each have the same number of units.
Okay.
Which will be larger, the smaller or the larger?
Well, excuse me, Professor. What do you mean by which one is the larger number? Is it the one that's not as small as the other number?
Let us make a simpler example. Suppose you have 2 noses, and I take one away.
Okay.
How many do you have?
None.
What do you mean, none?
Well, you didn't take anything away, so I still have it. But if you had, I wouldn't have it anymore.
You've not understood my example.
Okay.
Suppose you have 1 ear, and
Okay.
I give you 1 more. How many do you have now?
2.
Good. Now, suppose I give you another one. Then how many do you have?
3.
Yes, good. Now, suppose I take one away. How many do you have now?
2.
Yes, good. Now, I take still another. How many do you have?
2.
No, you have 2. I take one away. I eat one of them up. Then how many do you have left?
2.
I eat one of them up. 1.
2.
1.
2.
1.
It's 2.
1.
2.
1.
2.
1.
2.
No. This example is not convincing enough. Listen to me.
Yes, Professor?
You have
10 fingers.
Yes, okay. Good. Perfect. You have 10 fingers.
Yes, Professor.
How many fingers would you have if you only had 5?
10.
No, that's not right.
But it is, Professor. Look.
That's not right!
But, Professor, you said I had 10 fingers.
Yes, but then immediately afterwards, I said you had 5.
But I don't have 5, I have 10.
Professor!
It is unfortunate, miss, that you aren't further along in specialized mathematics.
Professor! Professor!
I hear that you won't be able to understand the arithmetical archetypes.
Professor!
Yes, Professor.
Unless you...
Let me be, Marie. What is the meaning of this? Go back to the kitchen. Back to your pots and pans.
Tomorrow,
We will try to teach you at least the fundamentals of mathematics.
Oh, you do! Oh, no, Professor! No, Professor!
Now, leave me alone. Let me be. What is the meaning of
No,
this?
Professor!
I must therefore teach you if you really do insist on attempting to learn.
Yes, Professor.
The elements of linguistics and comparative philology.
No, Professor! You can't do that! You can't!
Harry, you're going too far!
No, philology leads to calamity! Oh!
To calamity? That's hard to believe.
That's enough! Now get out of here!
What? Professor, you don't say it in normal. Philology? Philology leads to calamity.
I am an adult, Mary.
As you wish.
Let us go on.
Yes, Professor.
I want you to listen now with the greatest possible attention to a lecture I prepared,
Yes, Professor.
thanks to which in 50 minutes' time you will be able to acquire the fundamental principles of the linguistic and comparative philology of Neo-Spanish languages.
Yes, Professor. Oh, good.
Quiet! What do you mean by that?
I'm sorry.
And now, Miss, Spanish is truly the mother tongue which gave birth to all the Neo-Spanish languages, of which Spanish, Latin, Italian, our own French, Portuguese, Romanian, Sardinian, or Sandalapali, Spanish, and Neo-Spanish, and also in certain aspects Turkish, which is otherwise very close to Crete, which is only logical, since it is a fact that Turkey is a neighbor of Greece, and Greece is even closer to Turkey than you are to me. This is only one more illustration of the very important linguistic law which states that geography and philology are twin sisters. You may take notes, miss.
Okay, yes, Professor.
That which distinguishes the Neo-Spanish languages from each other and their idioms from other linguistic groups, such as the languages called Austrian or Neo-Austrian, or Habsburgian, as well as the Esperanto, Helvetican, Monican, Swiss, Adoran, Basque, and JLI groups, and also the groups of diplomatic technical languages, that which distinguishes them. I repeat, is their striking resemblance which makes it so hard to distinguish them from each other. I'm speaking of the Neo-Spanish languages which one is able to distinguish from each other. However, only thanks to their distinctive characteristics, absolutely indisputable proofs in their extraordinary resemblance, which renders indisputable their common origin, and at which at the same time differentiates them profoundly through the continuation of distinctive traits which I have just cited.
Okay, Professor.
Well, let's not linger over generalities.
Okay, Professor.
This appears to interest you. All the better. All the better.
Okay, Professor.
And we will come back to this later, don't worry. If that is if we come back to it at all, who can say?
Okay, Professor.
Keep quiet. Remain seated. Do not interrupt me. And project with all the force in your lungs in conjunction with that of your vocal cords. Like this. Look. Butterfly. Trafalgar. Eureka. Papaya. By themselves, words charged with their own significance will fall, weighted down by their own meaning, and in the end they always collapse. Fall. That's it, but don't interrupt, and into the worst confusion, or else burst like balloons. Therefore, miss, what's the matter?
I have a toothache.
That's not important. We're not going to stop for anything so trivial. Let us move on.
Yes, Professor.
I draw your attention in passing to the consonants that change their nature in combination. In this case, F becomes V, D becomes I, G becomes K, and vice versa. In these examples that I will cite for you, that's all right. Hens and chickens, Welsh rabbit, lots of nothing, or not at all.
I have a toothache.
Let's continue.
Yes, Professor.
To resume, it takes years and years to learn to pronounce. Thanks to science, we can achieve this in a few minutes. In order to project words, sounds, and all the rest, you must realize that it is necessary to pitilessly expel air from the lungs and make it pass delicately, caressingly over the vocal cords, which, like harps or leaves in the wind, will suddenly shake. Or ovulate, frictate, or jostle against each other, like sibilate. Sibilate, placing everything in movement, the uvula, the tongue, the palate, the teeth.
I have a toothache.
Let's go on.
As for the Neo-Spanish languages, they are closely related, so closely to each other that they can be considered as true second cousins. Moreover, they have the same mother, Spanish, with a mute E. That is why it is so difficult to distinguish them from one another. That is why it is so useful to pronounce carefully and to avoid errors in pronunciation. Pronunciation itself is worth a whole language. A bad pronunciation could get you into trouble. In this connection, permit me parenthetically to share a personal experience with you.
I was very young, little more than a child. It was during my military service. I had a friend in the regiment, a vicomte, who suffered from a rather serious defect in his pronunciation. He could not pronounce the letter F. Instead of F, he said F. Thus, instead of birds feather flock together, he said birds of a feather flock together. He pronounced Philly instead of Philly, Furman instead of Furman, French bean instead of French bean, go frig yourself instead of go frig yourself, Farrago instead of Farrago, fee fi fo fum instead of fee fi fo fum, Philip instead of Philip, victory instead of victory, February instead of February, March April instead of March April, Gerard de Nerval and not as is correct, Gerard de Nerval, Muravo instead of Muravo, etc. instead of etc. and thus as instead of etc. instead of etc. and thus and so forth. However, he managed to conceal his fault so effectively that thanks to his hats he wore, no one ever noticed it.
Yes, I've got a toothache.
Let's go on. We'll first consider the points of similarity in order the better to apprehend that which distinguishes all these languages from each other. The differences can scarcely be recognized by people who are not aware of them. Thus, all the words of all the languages.
Yes, I've got a toothache.
Let's continue are always the same, just as all the suffixes, all the prefixes, all the suffixes, all the roots.
Are the roots of words square?
Square or cube, that depends.
I have a toothache.
Let's continue. You surely also noticed that they've not changed in French. And now, young lady, nothing has succeeded in changing them in Latin either, nor in Italian, nor in Portuguese, nor in Sardanapalian, nor in Sardanapali, nor in Romanian, nor in Neo-Spanish, nor in Spanish, nor even in the Oriental. Frontispiece, affronted, always the same word, invariably with the same root, the same suffix, the same prefix, in all the languages I have named, and it is always the same for all words.
In all languages, these words mean the same thing?
Absolutely. Moreover, it's more a notion than a word. In any case, you have always the same signification, the same composition, the same sound structure. Not only for this word, but for all conceivable words in all languages. For one single notion is expressed by one and the same word, and its synonyms in all countries.
Forget about your teeth!
I've got a toothache. Yes, yes, yes.
Good, let's go on. I tell you, let's go on. How would you say, for example, in French, the roses of my grandmother are as yellow as my grandfather, who is Asiatic?
My teeth ache, ache, ache.
Let's go on. Let's go on. Go ahead and answer anyway.
In French?
In French!
I should say in French, the roses of my grandmother are...
As yellow as my grandfather, who is Asiatic.
Oh, in French, one would say the roses of my... Well, how do you say grandmother in French?
In French, grandmother.
So, the roses of my grandmother... Wait, in French? Wait, is it yellow?
Yes.
Of course!
Are as yellow as my grandfather when he got angry.
No, who was
Sciatic. I've got a toothache.
That's it.
I've got a tooth.
Ache? So what? Let's continue. Now I want you to translate the same sentence into Spanish, and then into Neo-Spanish.
In Spanish, this would be... The roses of my grandmother are as yellow as my grandfather, who is Asiatic.
No, that's wrong! Wrong!
And in Neo-Spanish, the roses of my grandmother were as yellow as my grandfather, who was Asiatic.
That's wrong!
That's wrong! That's wrong! You've inverted it! You confuse Spanish with Neo-Spanish and Neo-Spanish with Spanish! Oh no, it's the other way around!
I have a toothache. You're getting mixed up.
You're the one who is
You're the one who is mixing me
Pay
up!
attention and take notes. I will say the sentence to you in Spanish, then in Neo-Spanish, and finally in Latin. You will repeat after me. Pay attention, for the resemblances are great. In fact, they are identical resemblances. Listen and follow carefully.
I've got a toothache. Let us go on.
In Spanish, the roses of my grandmother are as yellow as my grandfather, who is Asiatic. In Latin, the roses of my grandmother are as yellow as my grandfather, who is Asiatic. Do you detect the differences? Translate this into Romanian.
How do you say roses in Romanian?
What roses? What else?
It's not roses. Oh, how my tooth aches.
Certainly not. Certainly not. Since roses is a translation in Oriental of the French word roses, in Spanish, roses, do you get it? In Sardanapali, roses.
Excuse me, Professor. Oh, how my tooth aches. I don't get the difference.
But it's so simple. So simple. It's a matter of having a certain experience, a technical experience, and practicing in these diverse languages, which are so diverse in the spite of the fact that they present wholly identical characteristics. I'm going to give you a key.
Toothache.
That which differentiates these languages is neither words, which are absolutely the same, nor the structure of the sentence, which is everywhere the same, nor the intonation, which does not offer any differences, nor the rhythm of the language, that which differentiates them. Are you listening?
I've got a toothache.
Are you listening to me, young lady? Or we're gonna lose our temper!
You're bothering me, Professor. I have a toothache.
Son of a cocker spaniel, listen to me! Don't interrupt. Don't make me lose my temper. I can't answer for what I'll do.
Please, no. No more.
Silence, or I'll bash in your skull.
Just try to, lying bastard.
Keep quiet now. Not a word.
One thing that is the most, how shall I say it, the most paradoxical, yes, that's the word, the most paradoxical thing is that a lot of people who are completely illiterate speak these different languages. Do you understand? What did I just say? Speak these different languages. What did I just say?
You were lucky that time. The common people speak a Spanish full of Neo-Spanish words that they are entirely unaware of, all the while believing that they are speaking Latin. Or they speak Latin full of Oriental words, all the while believing they're speaking Romanian. Or Spanish full of Neo-Spanish, all the while believing they're speaking Sardanapali. Or Spanish. Do you understand?
Yes. What more do you want?
How do you account for the fact that in speaking without knowing which language they speak, or even while each of them believes that he is speaking another, the common people understand each other at all?
I wonder.
Instead of staring at the flies while I'm going through all this trouble, you would do much better to be more attentive. It is not I who needs to be taught. Do you not realize what I'm saying is for your own good? Toothache! It don't matter. It can't go on like this. It won't do. It won't do. It won't do. Aha! In order to distinguish between all the different languages, as I told you, there's nothing better than practice. Let us take them up in order. I'm going to try to teach you all the different translations of the word knife.
All right. If you want.
Marie! Marie! She's not there. Marie! Where are you? Marie! Marie always comes when I come.
Plax, I'm right here. Jesus, he just texted me.
Marie, what are you up to? Why don't you come? When I call you, you come. Do you understand? She doesn't understand. It is I who gives the orders. Do you hear? She doesn't understand.
Okay. You're in just a little bit of a state right now, and I'm just gonna have to ask you, like, bring it down at home.
I can stop in time, Marie.
Okay, because that's what you always say, and yet you never do.
I've got a toothache.
She won't stop talking about that toothache.
Okay. It's starting. You know that's the first symptom.
What symptom? Explain yourself. What do you mean?
Yes, what do you mean? I've got a toothache.
Okay, are you dumb? You know exactly what I'm talking about?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Fine.
Don't go away like that. I called you in here to help me find the knife.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna do that, so don't ask me.
Here is one, young lady. Here is a knife. It's too bad that we only have this one, but we're going to try and make it serve for all the languages anyway. It will be enough if you will pronounce the word knife in all the languages, while looking at the object very closely, fixedly, and imagining that it is in the language that you are speaking.
I have a toothache.
Now say knife. Like knife. Fuh. Like fuh. Look at it. Watch it.
What is this one in French, Italian, or Spanish?
That doesn't matter now. That's not your concern. Say knife.
Knife?
Fuh. Look at it. Again, look at it.
No, please! Oh my God, no, I've had enough, please!
And besides, I have a headache.
Knife! Look! Knife! Look! Knife! Look!
No, my ears hurt. I hurt all over.
I'm going to tear them off your ear! That's what I'm going to do to you! Then they won't hurt you anymore, my pet! Come on, quickly! Repeat after me! Knife!
Oh, since you insist, knife. Is that in Spanish?
If you like, yes, it's Neo-Spanish, but hurry up, we haven't got time. And then, what do you mean by that insidious question? What are you up to?
Watch. Knife, knife. Knife, knife. Knife, knife. Knife, knife.
Oh, I have a pain. My neck, my shoulder, my thigh.
Pay attention. Don't break my window. The knife kills.
Yes, the knife kills.
Aha! That'll teach you. Bitch! Oh, that does me good. I'm exhausted. I can scarcely breathe. What have I done? What's going to happen to me? Oh, I'm in trouble now.
Young lady, the lesson's over. You can go now. You don't have to pay. The lesson's over. My God, she's dead, and by my knife. Marie! Wait, no, I don't need you.
Are you sure? Are you finished with your lesson?
The lesson's over, but my God, she doesn't want to leave.
Is that a fact?
Marie, I swear, it wasn't me.
Oh, who was it then? Was it me?
Maybe.
Or was it the cat?
Yes, maybe that.
What is this? The 40th time? You're disgusting. Soon you're not gonna have any pupils left to teach.
It wasn't my fault. She was a bad pupil. She didn't want to learn. It's her fault.
It's her fault, was it? You're a liar. You're disgusting. You're sick. You think she did this? No, Professor. You did this, you lying, dirty.
It's none of your business.
Were you trying to kill me? You murderer, you bastard!
I didn't kill her on purpose.
Are you sorry at least?
Yes, Marie. I swear. I swear.
You know, I can't help being sorry for you. mean? You're clearly upset. You do this all the time. I'll help you. I'll clean it up. I'll help you clean it up.
Yes, Marie. What are we going to do now?
Pick up that cloth. Put it over her.
Yes, Marie. Yes.
Go on. Roll her over. I'll take her feet, you take her head. Oh, God. Cover her up. This is indecent. Damn it, help me! Useless. Okay, let's go. Come on, pick her up! I'll just drag her out myself. Okay, you're fine. Come on, get yourself together. It's fine. It's done. Okay? Everything's okay. Okay? You're good. You're fine. You're good. You're okay. Okay? Wash that off your face. I can't have you walking around looking like that. I'm gonna go finish the laundry. I'm coming. She's really in a hurry, this one. I'll be just a moment. Good morning, miss. Are you the new pupil? Are you here for the lesson? The professor is expecting you. I'll go tell him you're here. Come in, come in.
Okay.
Have you ever met the bogeyman before? No.
Ready? Start taking hands?
For
Okay.
you're much too good, I'm sure. Don't you be afraid of him if he should visit you. He's a great big coward, so wonderful.
Okay, ready? Am I gonna have to say action to myself?
Here comes the bogeyman. Don't let him come too close to you. He'll get you if he can. Just pretend that you're a crocodile, and you will find that bogeyman will run away a mile. Say shoo shoo and stick him with a pin. Bogeyman will very nearly jump out of his skin. Say buzz buzz, just like the wasp that stings. Bogeyman will think you are an elephant with wings. Hush, 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 here comes the bogeyman. Tell him you've got soldiers in your bed, for he will never guess that they are only made of lead. Here's one way to catch him without fail. Just keep a little salt with you and put it on his tail.
Oh, someone's calling me. That might be the pizza people. Hello? Alright, coming.
I heard the word pizza and I was like,
It's a pizza. And my mom bringing Timbits like right now. Oh, my mom's here, so she has money. Where is her? Oh, shoot. Alright, let's go.
Let's go.